What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another trail camera video. This time, I thought I'd do something different. Instead of just leaving piles of food out in the woods, I thought I'd leave a trail camera on a trail for 60 days is the original plan. Ended up being 70 days. Look at that little puffball of a goose. That is cool. Ended up leaving it out there 70 days, and this may be the best video decision I've made all year. So, got some geese running around, going back and forth. I'm guessing they're just eating all the little bugs and seeds. Look at all these little guys. These geese are prolific. Look at them, they keep coming. What do they have, like 10? I think I counted like 9 or 10, count them up, however many they have, little goslings there. They're super cute when they're that small. You'll see them change over time here. But I just wasn't getting much action in front of the camera. Yeah, as you can see, it's day 13 already. And besides some geese and just a few other little things, not a lot was happening. So I thought I need to spice things up with some corn. So I sprinkled some deer corn that I got from Walmart on the ground. And it didn't take long for them to figure out. Look at all, lots of blue jays. Didn't take long for the birds to figure out that there was a scattering of corn, and they were really enjoying it. The blue jays just kept coming and going, and then this blackbird found it. They would just grab a few kernels and then leave, eat light. At least that's what they should do. Some of the birds don't practice light eating, and you'll see how it affects them later on. But this is still early. There is a woodpecker at the bottom of the screen there. And then you got a little bird here just minding his own business, and then gets bullied by a blue jay. A couple of blue jays. They are mean, they're just a mean bird. I don't care for blue jays very much. They're cool to look at. I think they're beautiful, but they are just a mean bird. And then here's a cardinal that wants in on the action. And you can see another one in the back. That is beautiful. Cardinal's getting in there. And note the size of the cardinal. Very slender, normal-looking bird. That'll change a little bit later. But the birds were absolutely loving the corn. And then, yeah, squirrel bullying the blue jay. See how you like it. And then check this out. The deer must have swum across the river, wet and shaking. Did they smell it from the other side? Whew, yeah, it's cold. The spring runoff is happening right now. The river is high and brown and icy cold. Don't you snot on my trail camera. That river is cold, and they braved it to get over to this corn. Can they smell it from that distance? I'm not really sure. I mean, it had to be over 100 yards, I'm guessing. If somebody would enlighten me in the comment section, I'm guessing they can smell it from that far, but he is shivering. Yeah, get in the sunlight there, dude. Look at the little nubbins of antlers starting to come up. But he is so cold. That river is icy. That is amazing. I love it. They absolutely mowed through the corn here. They were hungry from the long winter, I'm guessing. Yeah, fatten up there. Yeah, take a scratch yourself, do whatever you need to. Then you see here a squirrel joins them. A little skittish of him, but he continued to eat no matter what was happening. In fact, I have a ton of squirrel eating corn in front of camera that I cut out because it's just him sitting there chowing down. And even when other animals came, he kind of just ate around them. Take note of the deer's antlers at this stage because that's going to change later on in the video. Then the next day, had quite a bit of bird action again. This time we got geese, you got a blackbird, you got some other bird in the background there, and you got the little fuzzballs that are getting a little bigger. Everything is enjoying the corn. I really like feeding the animals. I'm not much of a hunter. Nothing against hunting. Might hunt, take it up, one day. But right now, I just like watching everything. Yeah, it's cool. But watch here. There's something going down, man. There's some confrontation. Some fight is about to break out here. Yikes. Don't know what happened off camera, but wouldn't want to mess with the goose. Here he comes back. There you go. Took care of business. It's probably the mama goose. Man, they're a bird with a lion's mentality. They will not back down. The corn was so effective, I decided to scatter some more down. I kind of think I need it for this island to draw the animals to this corner and to the island in general. I'm not sure how many full-time residents, you could say, that live on it. The squirrels definitely do, I think. It's plenty big enough for them. I don't think they swim back and forth. I've never seen a swimming squirrel before. I'm sure they can. I know they can, actually, but I'm not sure how often they swim back and forth. I think they could live on the island, all that to say. The geese came back, and the geese were just McLovin' the corn. The little goslings are starting to get a little bigger. You can see somewhat of a size difference. We're on day 20 here. That one is definitely getting bigger. That was definitely kind of the strong one of the group. And it's cool because it doesn't appear that maybe the geese have lost very many. If you've noticed, like if they live in your yard or whatever, in the springtime, they'll start off, say, with like 10 babies. And then you'll see them a week or two later and they have 7. And then a week or two later, they're down to 5. And then only 3 or whatever become adults. So I think that they're doing a pretty good job. This mom is having a hard time eating because the babies, I think they keep they want to be wherever she is, unless she's breaking the food up or something for them. Maybe she's doing that. But these parents are good geese parents. That's a lot of goslings to have after all this time. And then here's a cool shot at night. The trail camera turned on a little late, but that is an otter. In fact, let's do a replay here. River otter swam. I don't know that he ate any of the corn, but I think he's probably smelled it and at least checked it out. So that was cool. It's not very often you get a river otter on these trail cameras. And then the crow found it, and the squirrel, of course, has been imbibing pretty much every day. And he's like, yo, get out of here. You notice he charged him, but it was kind of a half-hearted charge. I wouldn't mess with the crow, bro. The squirrel is definitely miffed. Even though he's had more than enough to eat the little piggy, he's still miffed at the crow. All bad. Yeah, whoa. He's like, get out of here. This is my corn. A little bully, kind of, but I don't know, kind of, he's got to fight for, he's at the bottom of the food chain, he has to fight for whatever he can get. Almost everything's bigger than him, even these crows, way bigger than him. All right, so you'll notice here that the crows are loading up their beaks. Look how this one is loading up his beak and flying off without eating it. I think that they're taking it back to their nest, maybe feeding their baby since it's the springtime. Look at it, he can barely keep all the corn in his mouth, not eating it. But that was really interesting. I've never seen that before. Never seen this before either. Squirrel getting all excited over the woodpecker. Woodpecker's like, look, I'm just sitting here. That is actually a red-bellied woodpecker, even though it has a red crest. It's actually a red-bellied woodpecker. And then whatever that creature was, that happened like in the middle of the night. And then this is early in the morning. The deer are all excited. They kind of got scared into view there. They're a little on edge, though. The corn stopped them, but they seem to be just a little excited. Then this deer discovered the camera. That's been there the whole time, bro. He's like, what is that? And then runs off. Look how they're all acting a little skittish. That's interesting. Now here we have some cardinal action, okay? Now I want you folks to notice the size of this cardinal. I might have a problem here, ladies and gentlemen. I might be overfeeding the wildlife just a little bit. This dude is looking very large and in charge here. I might be putting down too much corn. We're on day 24, and this is now what the cardinals are looking like. Can this guy even fly? Okay, barely. But if a cat gets him, I take no responsibility for that. And then this was really neat. What kind of woodpecker is this, folks? I get mixed up between the red-crested, red-bellied, all the different kinds. If somebody can let me know in the comments, I would appreciate that because I don't want to lead people wrong. Lay down a pile of corn now. All right, we're on to... I didn't scatter this one. Decided to put it in a pile. And Rock Chuck finds it. But he just blew right past it. Was not interested at all. That was kind of surprising to me. And then we got a squirrel here guarding the corn pile. I should have maybe spread it out a little bit. But he did significant damage. Spread it out a little bit himself as he chewed on all the pieces. Yeah, got a bigger squirrel after, or there's romance is in the air, shall we say. Try to keep this a kid's channel. But I thought this shot was cool. Look at the bug hovering in front of the camera. That was kind of fun. And then at night, the raccoons did damage, and this little deer is sniffing around. But I'm sorry, lady, there ain't no more corn. I'll have to put out some more. I thought this was cool because the raccoon is out right in the middle of the day, and I don't get that a lot on my trail camera. They almost always come out at night. So this was interesting why this raccoon was out. Smelled that there was some corn there, or maybe this has been one of the culprits in the middle of the night, so came back for a little midday snack. But there was nothing. And folks, this might be one of the cooler things I've ever gotten a trail camera. Already notice the leaf growing in front of the camera. This started at night. All right, we're on day 40. And then still on day 40, this is the middle of the day. Look how much it had grown up. And then this is at night. Still, this is PM. And now this is day 41 in the middle of the day. Look how fast it's growing. This has been in like 48 hours or less. This sprig grew up. And we got a deer here who's hungry. Oh, yes. She's hungry. She's limping a little bit, it seems like. Looking around for little green morsels, little new shoots to chow down on. So we just watched this little shoot grow up right in front of the camera. And, ooh, what do we have here? She eats it. That is so cool. Gosh, that is cool. To have a shoot grow up straight in front of it like that. And have her eat it. I don't know, man. That was satisfying. That was satisfying. Very cool. All right, we're on day 45 now. Look how the goslings have grown up. They are starting to reach that stage, though, where they're almost ugly. It seems like all birds go through that stage where they're like super cute as babies and they're, cool as adults, but they go through that middle awkward stage where their feathers are growing and they're just rough looking. And these ones aren't quite there yet, but they're getting there. Look how many of them there are still. These two geese have absolutely done a great job of protecting their young. Here's the otter again, just running through at night. Wish I could get him in the middle of the day. Wish he'd pause in front of the camera, but he won't. But those geese are great parents. And speaking of parents, if you'll notice the girth on this doe here, she is looking rather large. No disrespect, she just is. And she gives us a nice shot here, as if we couldn't see, but definitely a pregnant deer. Okay, all right, we see ya. But just walking around, here's a little skinny one, so you can see the size difference. And this first time having ducks in front of the trail camera. And I don't know what it was, but the deer took issue with the ducks. Don't know what happened there, but just interesting. It's just so amazing what happens in the woods, like when nobody is around. Just random stuff like deer chasing ducks down. You just don't see that until you leave a trail camera up. But this was really cool, folks. The deer lays down, which is also something I haven't gotten in front of my trail camera. And the deer obviously feel safe on this part of the island. In fact, one of them lays down right in the middle of the trail. And we're into June now. You can see it's day 65. And she chilled for a long time. In front of the trail camera, and that lets me know that they were feeling safe. We haven't seen many predators like bears or coyotes or anything like that, and she hung out there till the evening time. The deer were relaxed and comfortable. This buck certainly was. Okay, dude, not in front of the camera. All right, stop. Anyway, I thought his antlers were cool. They're starting to come in. They're all fuzzy and feeling very, very at home on this part of the island. And that led to this. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a thicket behind the trail camera, a really thick area, and I think that this doe gave birth in the middle of the night. This fawn is so new. The mom is still licking him, and based on how wobbly he is, I think he was born last night. This might be one of the most amazing things I've ever gotten on my trail camera. Really. How cute the little fella is. She just kept walking back and forth, kept following her around, and then watch this. So she sensed some danger or something. She freaks out for a second, and the little guy lays down. I've actually seen this a couple other times before, never on a trail camera, but in other situations where a baby was laying down. And I think what happens is either they know this instinctively, or the mom gives some sort of little signal and the baby lays down whenever there's danger near. And then the mom either distracts it or charges it or whatever she's going to do, but the baby has to lay down and the mom takes care of business or distracts the predator. Or they were just practicing. I don't know. Look at she's cleaning them up good. They just kept walking back and forth. This is the same day. And I think she was just giving him exercise, just kind of bonding with her little fawn, nursing. And what's really cool about this is I was going to make this a 60-day set for the trail cameras, but the river flooded and I couldn't get out to the island. So I decided just to leave them out there for an additional 10 days and make it a 70-day set. And that turned out to be such a blessing because this is day 67 that all this happened. And if the river hadn't flooded, I would have gone out there and pulled the trail cameras in, and I never would have gotten any of this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And I'll see you in the next one. We'll do this again next year.
What happens to a pile of bananas left in the middle of the forest? Let's find out. the store was happy that I bought their old bananas. So we've got a variety here. We've got green ones, nice middle ripe, yellow ones, starting to get a little brown. One of the things I'm not sure about is, will they eat the skins? So I'm going to peel some and we'll leave a pile of pure raw banana there. And voila! Peeled bananas, unpeeled bananas of varying ripeness, and the banana peels. Trail cameras set up. We'll leave this for a couple of days, come back, see what happened.
So after several days, nothing came to eat the bananas, except the flies, of course. But you see how they're deteriorating. No animals were interested at first. This shocked the heck out of me. I left them out there for like 4 or 5 days, and just nothing came along. You can even see the squirrel there just ignoring them, which is interesting, as you'll see later. So I decided to go to plan B and put out some apples.
So I'm gonna see what happens if we leave a big pile of apples in the middle of the forest.
So after I put the apples out, everything changed. And you can see how the banana piles scattered there. Now, a lot of them did just like decay, but a lot of the newer ones took longer to decay. And I think what happened is something came along and ate several of them, kind of scattered them. And the trail cameras must not have captured it. That's actually normal. Trail cameras are kind of glitchy. But now you see the squirrels are interested in the bananas. And he takes a piece, and they're actually ignoring the apples now and feasting on the bananas. And this puzzled me, but I have a theory. Look at the little dude, he's just chowing down. I have a theory that maybe since it's a new fruit that squirrels aren't accustomed to eating, or any of the animals in this area aren't accustomed to eating, they smell it, like this little groundhog here, but they don't know what exactly it is, so they ignore it at first. They don't even know that it's something good to eat. They don't come for it, but they came for the apples. That's something familiar. And you can see he takes a little bite of apple right here, and then he climbs in the pile, and you'd think he'd just start feasting on all the apples, but instead he goes for the bananas. So what the heck? Why would they ignore this big, beautiful pile of bananas for days and then start eating them? Like, did they acquire a taste for them or something like that? So the apples drew them in because that's something that they're familiar with, but then they decide to sample the bananas, and they like those more than the apples. I don't know. That's the only explanation I could come up with. Basically, they just acquired a taste for them. That's what I'm guessing. By the way, this is the first time I've ever filmed a rock chuck or groundhog, depending on where you're from, on my trail cameras. And you can even see right here with this squirrel, he's excited, but he searches for bananas. Doesn't go for the apples. I think he's acquired a taste for the bananas. And then finally right here, one of them goes over and starts nibbling on an apple. But the one on the right keeps searching for bananas and finds one that must have been pretty green when I put it out because it's still good. You can see him peeling it right there. This is kind of cool right here. I have 3 squirrels and a bird all in one shot. That doesn't happen very often. And look, this guy stacks the banana on top of the apples and starts eating it. So I guess they really did just acquire a taste for the bananas and prefer those over the apples. Isn't that how it always is? We always want what we don't have. Even that little one in the back there, nibbling on a piece of banana. And finally, a raccoon finds the fruit pile. This is very surprising to me because normally raccoons are the first ones to always find food when I put it out, usually within a few hours. So the fact that it was out there for several days before they found it is shocking. But I do have a theory on that. Number one, they smell bananas in the air, and maybe they don't come running because they don't recognize it. Well, he's carefully eating the apples here. So when they smelled apples, that was something recognizable. This is all guessing. I'm not a scientist or anything like that, but guessing that's why there was no raccoon action. I love his friend staring at him from the back there. The animals do take turns a lot of times. at these piles. Even if it's the same one, they will watch each other, and as soon as one leaves, yeah, he knows he's being watched. As soon as one leaves, then the other one will come. And check it out. It's another raccoon, but it looks way different. It's way lighter in color. Kind of a cool looking one, I think. In fact, I'll show a little split screen here. You can see the difference between them. One is way lighter than the other. That was the one previously on the right there. And then a couple of baby raccoons come and start chowing down. Now, these aren't quite maybe babies. I never saw their mother with them. I've seen baby raccoons on my trail cameras before, and they've always had their mother with them. These are more like just juveniles. They've grown up a bit. Kind of they're teenage raccoons, so to speak. All four paws on the apple there. Those apples must be pretty hard, or their teeth are a little underdeveloped, because they struggled taking a big bite out of these apples. As you can see, they had to use all four paws on them. They're kind of cute, though. What a feast for them, you know, for their size and all this food laying around. This is way different than what they get when they jump in my trash cans, too. And then in the morning, a beautiful deer found it. They look kind of spooky, though, in the morning light. The trail camera, I don't know, just the way it looks, I think makes their eyes look kind of creepy. But she got to enjoy some, and I think it's interesting that as soon as I put the apples out, the deer came, but they did not come for the bananas. That is so cool. I love watching them. I love the light little hoof scratch on the cheek there. I love how deer nibble. They never nibble so delicately, whatever they're eating. Unlike raccoons and bears and other things that open wide and chow down, and squirrels who just carry off apples like that. Deer break it up into small little bites and chew very thoroughly. So I came to check the fruit pile to see what had happened, and I did bring a few extra bananas with me because I could see they were starting to eat on it. So I just thought I would scatter a few around just to give them a little something extra there. And I didn't peel any of them or anything. And immediately a squirrel comes over. And will he go for the apples or the bananas? And he goes straight for the banana again. He's like, I love this exotic fruit. This is amazing. I can get apples anytime. Look at the bird behind him. That's pretty cool. This is so fun to watch. Look at the cardinal. One of these days I'm going to get like an animal fight. But so far they seem to all get along. They kind of respect each other's spaces, or they'll take turns. They kind of know what order they're in general. And in fact, you'll see in a second, surprise me what order things were in. So here comes another rock chuck, groundhog, whatever you want to call it. There are a lot of names for these critters. And he dominates the pile there, and the squirrel's looking at him. And the squirrel wants at the food pile, but he's not going to charge in there. Apparently rock chucks are more fearsome than they look. You'll see it a little bit later on. But the squirrel kind of circles around and decides a more cautious approach is better. And then this was so cool. I knew deer had to come if I left out apples. They love apples, they love corn. every time I put the cameras out, it always captures something new and cool. And one of the unexpected things that keeps recurring in all this footage is that the animals take turn at the food pile. That is so surprising to me. So you see here the mom and the babies moving off, and that's because there's another deer that's coming. And now she's going to have her turn. The deer are very polite animals there. And one thing I did observe is that the deer did not like the bananas, but they ate the apples. Except for the one baby that ate a little bit of the banana skin. I don't know if you guys caught that. They ate exclusively the apples. And I love here the squirrel. He thought about it. I don't know if the deer gave him a look or it made a sound or something. He got out of there in a hurry. And then the deer spooks. So not sure what they heard there. But after the deer leaves, then the squirrel comes back, has the pile all to himself. So this was funny to see. As the food pile gets smaller, the animals are less willing to take turns, and there's more snatching going on, more stealing while the other one is on the pile. You check out the stare down of that one squirrel. Well, I just want to take one to go, man. Then this happened, and this was crazy to me. So I kind of thought a raccoon would just bully a rock chuck any day of the week. But look at the respect the raccoon has. He's like, can I slip in there and maybe just take one banana? He's straight up scared. And look at that. The rock chuck turns around and the raccoon runs away. I was not expecting that. I mean, I got a little bit more respect for the rock chuck. I mean, if he's willing to take on a raccoon, they must be more gangster than they look. They look kind of lovable and fuzzy. I mean, he's eating a banana, for heaven's sakes. And then you see here 3 left, and the squirrel's like, you know what? I'm just going to take this one to go. And then the next morning, 2 bananas left, and the rock chuck gets the rest. So this is really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And let me know what you want to see next put out in the woods.
What happens when you leave a mountain of corn and a mountain of salted peanuts in the middle of the forest? Let's find out. So, this stuff is apple flavored. For most people, scattered corn all over. I want to see what happens if we just leave a big mountain of it. That bring you the whole thing. Just like that. And then beside it, we're going to put peanuts. Let's see which ones these animals prefer. I like salted peanuts myself. Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of this, just kind of scatter it around. Just a little. And there we go, my friends. A peanut and a corn mountain there. Let's leave this, see what happens over the next couple days.
So that night, of course, the first thing to find it is a raccoon. And it's interesting, he went straight for the peanuts. Without hesitation, starts digging through them. He had to be thinking, this is just amazing. I love he's like digging a hole in him. I'm not really sure what he's doing, actually. He sees something coming up the hill. You'll see it in a second. He's like, gotta hurry. So he starts stuffing his fat face. I love how he's just like sitting in it, chowing down. So for raccoons, there's his friend. For raccoons, peanuts seem to be their favorite food. This guy's like, man, I don't know about this. This seems fake. Like, what is this? His friend is a little more cautious. Seems fake. He's very, very cautious here. He's like, man, I don't know. I don't know. Just checking it out. Eventually, they both get into it. And it's interesting because that raccoon goes for the corn. So they're both enjoying their respective piles there. And it looks like that one raccoon with the peanuts he's cracking them open. I don't think he's eating the whole thing. It looks like he's cracking them open with his teeth and eating out the inside. Got a little scratch on his head there. He eats his fill, his friend eats his fill, and you can see they did a lot of damage with both of those piles there just in the first night. So the next morning, deer find it. And I love how suspicious they are. They're like, wait a second, this has to be a setup. I love how skittish they are. Like, this is too good to be true. Do we trust this? Nope, I'm out of here. As the day went on, though, they got used to it. After a while, they just started milling around. Different deer came in. It's like word got around. There was a pile of corn on the hill. And check out this buck. All right, he only has one horn, or one full horn, and then a little nubbin of one. But despite this shortcoming, he still makes his move. Oh yeah, look at this guy. Smooth as butter. I like how he came in slowly. I love the standing close to her. That's perfect. I mean, it's like at a coffee shop. You know, you can't go and sit at the girl's table, but you definitely need to get a table right beside her so you can at least start the conversation. And, oh man. Is it the one horn? Is that what turned her away? Don't worry, man. There are plenty of doe in the forest. Later on, a crow finds the pile, but the crow ignores the corn and goes for the peanuts. His friend joins him, and his friend goes for the peanuts. And you can see all of the crows actually go straight for the peanuts and ignore the corn a little bit. There's one in the mountain there. He's just he's eating some. But I think that they cleaned out all the rest of the peanuts that were scattered in the leaves there. That is so interesting. That is what they preferred. Most animals prefer the peanuts over the corn. I thought it was fascinating how the turkeys are scared of the crows. At first the crows flew away, and then they're like, wait a second. Somehow they figure out that, like, the turkeys are kind of timid. So the crows stand their ground and tell the turkeys to go buzz off. I mean, the turkeys are like 5 times bigger than these crows, but they're chickens. That's probably what the crows were telling me. Hey, you guys are a bunch of chickens. You're not turkeys. Bunch of chickens over there. And they just dominated the corn pile. Basically, every crow ate their fill, and then they let the turkeys have at the corn pile. On the 3rd or 4th night, a bear finally came loafing around. It's so funny because every time I've left out food, bears are always the last ones to find it. In fact, the very first trail camera video I did, the bear came around when the food was gone. He had nothing left. And this is almost the case here. This bear just gets the dregs. I don't know if their sniffers aren't as good as other animals, or they're just a little slow, but I love how he sits right in the middle of the pile. It was a good thing he did, because this raccoon wanted some. I love the stare down here. Yeah, if looks could kill. Just kind of a little warning shot there. I love how the raccoon pretends like, what? I'm just over here rooting through the leaves. Don't worry about me. That raccoon wasn't shy at all. I thought it was actually kind of funny how they got along together. They chilled for a long time and just kind of ate in both their respective corners. The turkey threw a lot of pieces around, I'm sure, so there were plenty of little bits for the raccoon to get. He chilled for a long time at this spot, just rooted through all the leaves, ate all the little scraps. I'm sure he got quite a bit of dirt with the corn nuggets there, but I guess they can digest that. He's like, I'm gonna head out. The next morning, gorgeous sunny morning. It had been kind of cloudy and rainy the previous few days. And you can see just last little bits of the corn pile there. Then the turkeys came around and pretty much finished up every little bit. There probably wasn't a kernel of corn that didn't get eaten by the end. You see the turkey scratching around, picking up every last little piece. And the deer there, I love to see them together. That's really cool. Kind of wasn't expecting that, honestly. This is a really fun experiment. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and we'll see you in the next one.
What happens when you leave a rotisserie chicken in the middle of the forest? Let's find out. Fresh, whole rotisserie chicken. Ooh, the temptation to take a drumstick is... I am also going to put a spike right in the middle of the chicken so that it holds it to the forest floor better, so some small critter can't just carry the whole thing off. All right, got our little specimen there. Let's leave it overnight, see what happens.
So the first action we have is this deer running by. And it's funny because the deer stops. I don't think it was going for the chicken ever. It was just like running and then like, wait a second, what is that? Comes over, takes a little look, but never comes over to take a bite. Just kind of hangs out in the shadows the whole time and looks at it, which is to be expected. Deer eat grass. Then we have a couple little beady eyes here from some little critter checking it out. And it was funny because it's a raccoon, but he's real timid. He didn't run over and just start chowing down. He's kind of looking at the camera, and he's looking at that chicken going, this is too good to be true, man. Is this a trap? This can't be real. A whole chicken all to myself. He's kind of sniffing around like this. What's going on here? Really? This can't be true. This is a trap. So he grabs a wing, pulls a wing off, and decides to vamoose with his little wing and leave the rest of the chicken. But he returns real fast, probably after finishing his wing, and decides, you know what, I guess this is for real, and just starts chowing down on the main body of the chicken, which is what I thought he'd do the whole time. Hangs out for about 15, 20 minutes, just has it all to himself, is in hog heaven probably. And then, look here down the screen. Is that a giant spider on the forest floor? Like, what was that crawling around the whole time? Whatever it is, it's creepy. Remind me not to camp on the forest floor in the middle of the woods. So I visited the site the next day just to see what had happened. About half the chicken was gone, and only that raccoon visited the chicken, which really surprised me. So I had another chicken with me that I brought, because I actually expected that one to be gone. And this one's a little bit different. It's a lemon garlic chicken. I thought maybe the different flavors would attract some different animals, because the other one's just a straight up old-fashioned rotisserie chicken. Decided to stake the fresh one down. I only had one steak with me on this day, and thought, all right, let's leave it for another 24 hours. And the results were immediate. Within a couple hours of putting down the fresh chicken, I had my first customer. But here's something curious. He did not go for the lemon garlic chicken. He goes straight for the older and half-eaten old-fashioned rotisserie style chicken. This is more like what I thought a raccoon would do. He grabs it whole hog and just starts chewing off the main body. And he's excited. In fact, he's looking around. He's a little suspicious. He can hear some of his friends in the woods behind him, I'm sure. And it's also kind of one of those things where, you know, is this too good to be true? And one of his friends comes over here and joins him. He pulls his away. He's like, you eat that one. I'm enjoying the old-fashioned style here. And this guy, see, this is how raccoons should eat. This is what I expected. This dude is just, he's all in. He's all in. Starts with the skin. Oh, that skin is the best part of the whole thing. And at first, the raccoon's absolutely rapturous. In fact, he goes up, climbs his tree there with his piece of chicken. And this happened later on in the night. It's a baby bear. But he showed up to the party a little late. Have you ever tried arriving at a Super Bowl party at halftime and, all the good food is gone? It's kind of the same thing. You can even see it in his face. He's like, oh man, I missed something really good here. I know it. There is a little bit of the carcass there, so he kind of snacks on that. But the raccoons, there were actually more raccoons in the evening that had basically taken everything, and they left that little bit of carcass there. So he nibbles on that a little bit. Then he just starts chilling. He's just chilling out. I feel a little sorry for him. He's licking the spike where the chicken was. Then he starts licking the leaves where the chicken was. He knows he missed something really good here. I do feel sorry for him. But he just hangs out for about an hour. And I think he's waiting for more food, folks. I think that's why he just hung out for like an hour. He looks around one more time like, nothing coming? Okay. Like the chicken delivery man isn't coming, I guess. And so he heads out, but he circles back around. Several hours later, this is early in the morning, circles back around, licks the spike one more time, like as if maybe if I leave for a while, come back, there'll be more chicken there. Nope, sorry, buddy. And he wanders off. I hope you guys enjoyed this trail cam video. If you guys want to see more similar trail camera videos, only with different foods, check them out right there.